Good evening, YouTube. Tonight I will be working on a 1979 XR250 Honda XR250 1979, which is in very good shape. This is my personal bike. I just picked it up a few weeks ago, and I've been bringing it back to its beauty. The paint job and the plastics and the seat were all done by the previous owner. I put on new sprockets, new shocks, new chain. I did the rear and the front brakes. They were completely messed up. The speedometer doesn't work, although the speedometer does work. The gear, the worm gear drive down here does not work. So I got a replacement off of eBay, and this came out of Canada. And I took it completely apart, as you can see, Canada, so it's got all kinds of corrosion going on. This one is an Arizona one, so that's the original paint. And that's the original spring and the original action arm or lever for the front brake. This is what the parts look like on the Canada piece. So I am going to take part of this and part of that one and combine them together. So the way you test your speedometer, inside here, I'll show you down inside the gear. Hopefully we can see. Let's see. It's like a screwdriver. It's like a flathead screwdriver, if you can see that. And that goes into a receiver end on the speedometer cable, and that comes up into the speedometer. Okay, so that gets fitted in here. This screw holds that cable in there, and then so it's the opposite. This is the male end, that's a female end on the cable. And as the gear spins in here, come on, stay. As the gear spins in here, let's see if we can see the worm gear down in there. That's the gear down in there that drives this. Okay, see it down in there? So I got to clean this out, and I'm going to put some fresh grease in there also. I'm not sure if I can pull this apart and take these pieces out. I'm going to put it inside that one. I already cleaned the outside and I repainted it. This was all corroded and had surface rust and all kinds of stuff going on it. So I took a wire brush to it, and then I repainted it. But as you can see, this one is, what is it now, 44 years old, and it's still in great shape. So anyhow, so this piece here is broken off of the one on the motorcycle, so it won't spin the speedometer. Oh, I was saying, so the way to test your speedometer is you take a flathead screwdriver, or take your impact driver or a drill and put a flathead screwdriver adapter on it, and then spin it in reverse, not as you're driving in a screw, but lefty-loosey. Spin it in reverse, and your speedometer should, if your speedometer shows any movement, then your speedometer is fine, and it's your worm gear that's messed up. All right, I'm going to show you that real quick. I'm going to pull this apart. I'm going to put it up on a jack stand, and I'm going to pull this apart, and then I'm going to show you how to test your speedometer. Okay, before I take it completely apart, I just wanted to go over this with you. The retaining nut on the axle is a 17 millimeter. That's on this side. Take that off first. Then you come around this side. You have 4 retaining bolts, nuts and bolts that hold the axle to the right side fork. Loosen those, and then this is 17 millimeter. You're going to take your impact wrench, and you're going to just bring it out. It's threaded down. It's threaded down in here, and it's going to, I'll show you, it just feeds itself out. You don't have to drive it. You see, it springs itself out. And once you have it out, now I have it out far enough, I can just pull it out. I gotta put some gloves on because I greased it up pretty good when I put it back together again. Anyhow, okay, so then your wheel will separate out from your brake drum. This is your not disc brakes, drum brakes. So your brake pads are in here attached to this drum, and the actual inside of your wheel is a drum that they push against, but this is kind of like your caliper, your drum brake caliper setup. So that's it. I'm going to take it apart. I'm going to pull out the what do you call it? The speedometer cable, and I'm going to show you how to do the test on your speedometer, see if it's working. Okay, so I have the speedometer cable released. Trying to see if I can show you. Okay, you can see in there, it's the reverse of, it would receive a Phillips head screwdriver. Okay, so take your impact driver, put a, I said Phillips, I mean flathead. Put a flathead on it, and let me get it set up. And I'm gonna show you. I need 3 hands to do this. I need 3 hands to do this. Let me see if I can hold it while I'm filming. Of course, it's not in there. There it goes. And there you go. That shows me that the speedometer is working and that it is the worm drive that's bad. So we're gonna fix that now, and we're gonna see if everything works good. Okay, I just wanted to go over what I discovered before I put this thing back together again. So I was hoping to be able to take the worm gear out of this, the one I got from Canada. The one, I repainted it on the outside, but as you can see, the inside is in rough condition. This gasket looked terrible, but I cleaned it up. I used had to use about a half a can of brake clean to clean it up. So long story short, you cannot take this out. It's in the unit. There's no way to push it out from here. That's a solid piece of steel down in the bottom. And there's no way, there's no retaining clips or anything. It's just, as you can see, it's just sitting in the housing. It's sitting in this unit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take half of my stuff out of my old one, which has been here. As you can see, this lever arm, brake lever arm, is way better than that one, right? Same thing goes for the spring and everything else. So I'm going to kind of half and half it. So what I did was I cleaned this up. Make sure you clean it up real good. Get all the grime and shit out of there, because that's why your old one failed, is because of road grime and grit and brake dust and everything. So I cleaned down to where I could see good grease. You can't get it all out, you know. I mean, you know how grease is. It goes into every nook and cranny. So I cleaned it out as good as possible. I cleaned the worm gear as good as possible. I spun it. I hit it with, I just put it over the garbage can, and you see all that black shit. I just sprayed it with brake clean and spun it and tried to get everything out. And then I took the gear. This is the gear that came with the new unit, the new old unit rather, and I just cleaned it. I put it in some paper towels and I just soaked it, and then I blasted out all the teeth so that it looks nice and clean. This is what my old one looks like, and this is what the old one that I got from Canada looks like. So I think it's in pretty good shape, to be honest with you. So we're gonna stick with this. I'm gonna pack this in. I have my grease gun ready. I'm gonna pack this in really good with grease. Then I'm gonna sit this in there, and then I'm gonna spin it and make sure everything is working good before I put it all back together again. Then I am going to use, this is my brake actuator that came out of the old one. As you can see, it's in great shape. It's in really great shape. So we're gonna use this again. And I also have my my brake mark where I need to put the lever on. This is the one that came out of that one. It's kind of corroded out of the one I just got off of eBay, and you can see it's got some really bad wear marks on here. So we're just gonna keep that as a backup. We're gonna go with this guy. Of course, it has to fall off the bench. Put a little grease on here before you put it in, and there's also a gasket. So clean that. I haven't cleaned it up yet, as you can tell. I haven't cleaned this up yet, but use that, and that goes on the outside to keep to basically keep all the elements out. So I'm gonna start putting this all back together again, and then I'll show you the final product. I know this video is getting a little too long. I'll show you the final product, and we'll see if it works. Okay, we've got it all back together again. We've got the brakes adjusted. I've got the speedometer cable in there. Everything is moving smoothly. Everything is tightened up, and we are going to take it out for a quick drive and see if the speedometer works. So I'm just going to do that, and I'll be back in like 5 minutes and let you know. And this is the old one that was on the motorcycle with some of the parts from the new old one that I got from eBay. And I'm just gonna, I suggest that when you do something like this on an old motorcycle, old car, anything, always keep your old parts, because you never know if you're gonna need a gasket or that worm gear, not the worm gear, but the Speedo gear, or you need this part, or you need that what do you call it back in here, that gasket, that weather gasket that keeps the elements out of your brake drum. All right, so that's everything. Any questions or comments, leave it in the comments if you have any questions. And I hope you enjoyed the video. And this is going to be the same for anything, for a Suzuki, a Kawasaki, a Yamaha, anything that has drum brakes and has a speedometer. So this would be a good tutorial for any of those. All right, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Mike Machines out. God bless.